How do funnels work in RPGs? So in this case, you would take specifically level 0 adventurers and you would drop them in. And then certain stuff comes out, mostly dead stuff. And only the strongest, luckiest, and cleverest adventurers survive. So why do funnels work so well? I'm not an expert. They kind of prevent min-maxing, if that's something that you're not really into, because you don't know who you're going to play as. So join me at the one-person table and let's roll up some poor, unfortunate level 0 souls. Alright, so let's get to it. We're going to be creating 4 level 0 characters for a Shadow Dark Gauntlet. And we will just be using the straight Shadow Dark rules for this. I've got some bookmarks in there for the character creation sections. And then we will be putting it onto this blank quad style character sheet for Shadow Dark. So I got this character sheet off of shadowdarklings.net, which is a really great site for all things Shadow Dark. I would invite you to go check it out if you want to get some resources for your Shadow Dark game. In order to create this, I had to generate 4 characters, and then I had to go and delete everything from it because it just pre-populates the sheet, which is really nice if you want it all done for you. However, I'd like to do it myself to learn the process, and to me, that is part of the fun, is the rolling and the creating and kind of seeing these characters come together. So if you want a copy of the blank sheet, I am going to put in a Google Drive link to just the blank sheet, nothing else. I'm going to give credit where credit is due to the person that created this. I did not create this. I'm just providing you an easy way to get a clean sheet. And then the last thing we're going to do, and this is kind of me just putting my fun spin on things, we're going to use the SoloDark Oracle prompts back here to basically figure out how each level 0 character was fired from their position as being a courier for the Iran post, what basically caused them to get sent to the Secret Pits, which is the dungeon we will be playing in the next step. All right, so let's open up the Shadow Dark book and take a look at the character creation rules specifically for level 0 characters. So when we create a level 0 character, it's considered a weak peasant who has not yet attained the skill required to be considered an adventurer. So they're going to be fragile, and because they're level 0, they're going to have what's called beginner's luck. And that means they can wield all gear until they reach first level. We're going to roll up stats. We're going to choose an ancestry. We'll set hit points equal to their constitution modifier. We'll also figure out a background, pick an alignment, and we'll roll up some starting gear. And then if we survive the adventure like I talked about, then we'll reach level 1 and we'll be able to move onwards in the journey. All right, so let's continue onwards and create our first level 0 character. And by the way, these cards are from a separate game. They have that old school style, so I grabbed them to use as bookmarks, but they're from a completely game entirely. So first we're gonna roll stats. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll 3d6 down the line in order for each stat. We'll note our total and modifier on the character sheet. We have a 9 in strength. We have a 9 in dexterity, 14 in constitution, 9 in intelligence, 15 in wisdom, 12 in charisma. And looking at the modifiers for those, it looks like we have a +2 on constitution and wisdom, minus some kind of a laborious job, and they've gained some knowledge of the world. But they're none too intelligent, and also maybe they've had some kind of an injury or accident that's debilitated them physically. Just for whatever reason, they're a little bit below average in terms of their strength and then their speed. You know what we're gonna do? Before we roll more stats and go through the process, we're gonna jump to these random tables, the names and ancestry and the background of the characters. And that will help inform us as we're rolling their skills into figuring out why they are the way they are. So let's start off doing it that way. So we've already generated skills for this first character. We've done it a little bit out of the order we're going to do it. So let's figure out this character's ancestry. They're human. Why not? We will roll their deity. It is Madeira the Covenant. We'll roll, I guess their alignment would correspond to their deity most likely. And then we will roll a human name. 11 will get us Tamra. So our first human is Tamra. And what is Tamra's background? Let's find the background table. Here we go. See, I'm probably doing this in the wrong order, but that's okay. All right, so Tamra is a former jeweler. So Tamra can easily appraise value and authenticity for jewelry. All right, and then checking the deity. All right, so Madeira, the Covenant is lawful. All right, so Tamra is a human jeweler, alignment lawful, deity Madeira. Tamra is not very deft or strong. However, Tamra is extremely hardy. And then Tamra's not book smart, but Tamra knows a lot about the world and how it works with a high wisdom. And Tamra has slightly above average charisma, which has helped her in her dealings or previous background as a jeweler. And let's say that as this jeweler, she was tasked with taking different jewels and gems of value between King's Tower and the Iran Post and Castle Lightmoor. So now we're going to roll up. We know that Tamra starts with 2 HP, because that's what the Constitution modifier is. And we're going to roll up gear, and then we're going to do these 2 other separate things to find out what she was fired for and then what her personality. So going to rolling gear, we're going to roll the D12, and it looks like you 0 level characters start with a D4 items. So let's see. So she starts out with 4 items. She will have a short bow and 5 arrows, dagger, club. Wow, she is armed to the tooth, and iron spikes. So whatever she's doing in the Sacred Pits requires her to be armed and dangerous. So we will figure out what the attacks are later with the bow and the dagger and the club. Now let's roll for her personality. All right. She is very much a pessimist. The glass is always half empty for her. And let's figure out what she was fired for. So we're going to roll on the Oracle table, asking the question, what was Tamra fired for from the Iran Post? Why has she been sent to work in the Secret Pits? We will roll for a verb and a noun. So our verb is 40. Our noun is 60. So avoid trick. This makes me think that Tamra was in a situation where somebody tried to trade or sell a counterfeit gem. And with her jeweler background, she knew that this gem was a counterfeit, was a fake, and she tried to bring it to attention, and there was some kind of a scheme going on that she was not aware of. Whoever had set up the jewel deal was in on it. They knew that it was a counterfeit, and they happened to be tied. They were a person of power, and so they told her boss at the Iran Post, and she got the axe for that. So we will just put that down, fired for calling out a counterfeit. I think we've got pretty much everything we need. There's no money to start with. We still have to figure out the attacks, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so very simple. Melee attacks use your strength modifier, -1 in this case for Tamra, and then dexterity uses your dexterity modifier, which is -1. So she is, not going to be the most effective combatant, and we're going to be wanting to avoid combat anyway, given the fact that this is a very dangerous dungeon that they're going to be in. All right, so we've got Tamra created. Let's go on to our next character. So let's roll, kind of start forming an individual to start thinking about them. So let's roll for name and ancestry first. Where are my dice? All right, so this next character is 11. This next character is a half-orc. So this is going to be a half-orc named. We need to roll a d20. All right, and what kind of a background does Wulf have? All right. Here is the background table. Wulf has the background of an acolyte. You're well trained in religious rites and doctrines. All right, that is interesting. So Wulf has an acolyte background. So Wulf must have been raised as an acolyte at Our Lady of Mercy Abbey. So Wulf grew up training to become a priest in religious rites and doctrines. And for whatever reason, that didn't work out, and they went to go be a courier at the Iran Post. Let's roll for deity, and maybe this helps answer why. So 8 for deity is going to be Romlet. Ooh, so Romlet, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Romlet is chaotic. Romlet is the pillager, the barbaric, the horde. Many orcs worship him and live by the blood rite. A prophecy that says only the strongest will survive a coming doom. So Wulf the half-orc worships Romlet, who's chaotic. So he'll be chaotic. And this makes a lot of sense. So let's say with his backstory, right, he was taken in maybe from the time he was like, a child by the priests and priestesses at Our Lady of Mercy Abbey. And he was raised, let's say that Our Lady of Mercy is in actuality Saint Taragnus, who is a legendary knight, who is the patron of lawful humans, who ascended to godhood. So he was raised in the ways of Saint Taragnus, but he ended up worshiping Gauntlet instead. And so he was banished from the faith of Saint Taragnus, and he found some work, basically working for the Iran Post. All right, let's roll for his stats. So Wulf's stats: strength is going to be 11, pretty average. Dexterity 8, a little bit clumsier. Constitution 11, fairly average. Intelligence is 9, a little bit below average. Wisdom 13, and charisma. All right, so all around average, a little bit below average in a couple spots. We'll write down these modifiers real quick. So the minimum HP, even if you don't have a constitution bonus, is just 1. So Wulf has 1 HP. All right, let's roll for the gear that he has. So he's going to have D4 pieces of gear. 1. He's got 1 piece of gear. That's it. He starts with a 60-foot rope. And he's just got an unarmed attack. He's got just his fists. So he's going to be in for it. And let's get his personality. I think that's fitting. He's not a happy guy. He's not happy about where he is. He's not happy about his life situation. Wulf is just kind of annoyed. He's annoyed most of the time. And then let's figure out what he was fired for really quick. So jumping over to our oracles, we have 11 for our verb and 62 for our noun. So sneak, I already like where this is going. 62 would be pain. Sneak pain. Okay, so maybe he was fired for a valid reason. Wulf was trying to hurt somebody. He was trying to stealthily, he was working for the Ron Post. He was annoyed about some kind of an order he had to take, some kind of a delivery he had to make. And so he, during the night, decided he was going to go and teach a lesson to the postmaster at the Iran Post. And so his firing is valid. Going to the secret pits, I'm not so sure that, but he was fired for, a valid reason, that he tried to hurt somebody. All right, let's go to our next character. So we're going to roll up a random ancestry. So we are rolling the d12 to do that. Got a 6. That is going to be an elf. What is this elf's name and background? So the elf's name, Ruhiel. Okay, the elf's name is Ruhiel. What kind of background does Ruhiel have? Background is a cult initiate. Blasphemous secrets and rituals. And let's roll for deity, D8. We'll go with it. So Ruhiel is also a worshiper of Gauntlet. And Ruhiel is chaotic. Or has Ruhiel been forced into this cult? You know what? Let's leave it up to an oracle roll. So on a 4, 5, or 6, that's a yes. On a 1, 2, or 3, that's no. Okay, so no, Ruhiel's not been forced into this cult. Ruhiel in the cult and has adopted the mindset of where the strong rule and the powerful rule. And so Ruhiel perhaps was trying to infiltrate through the means of this cult by working in the Iran Post. And we will roll now on Ruhiel's stats. Ooh. Ruhiel is not very strong. Ruhiel has a whopping 4 for his strength. And like any good elf, Ruhiel is slightly above average in dexterity, a little below average in constitution, 15, very smart, 9 in wisdom, 8 in charisma. So our bonuses here, -3 in strength. Ruhiel really does not want to get into hand-to-hand combat. He prefers striking from afar. He's clever, but sometimes impulsive. He's a little bit below average in his charisma. What is Ruhiel's personality like? He is sad. I think he's probably sad because his cult's plot is not coming to fruition. So he's bummed out. Man, all these characters are kind of got like a negative spin on them. That's okay. You know what? Because we have pessimistic and we have annoyed, let's give it one more roll. That's pessimistic. Huh, okay. So Ruhiel, he's happy because even though he's in this terrible situation, his cult's plot is coming to fruition. And so he's down for it. He's good with it. I guess he's an optimistic cultist. Very interesting. Optimistic. And what was he fired for? Let's roll on the oracle table. So we're going to have the numbers 94 and 12. Change and time. Okay, change, time. Time change. Okay, we're going to interpret this very directly as he was super, super late on delivering something that he was supposed to deliver because he was currently doing, secret cult things for his cult. And so he has been sent to the secret pits. And I'm going to say, just as kind of a fun twist on this, this was intentional. He knew that people were being sent to the secret pits and he wanted to go there. So now he is at the secret pits, all according to the plan of this cult that he's part of. And maybe we'll flesh out and figure out what this cult is more later if it becomes a more important part in the story. So fired for late delivery on purpose. All right, and we got to roll his gear. So he has 1d4 pieces of equipment. He's got 3 of them. And, we'll hope that he gets some kind of a ranged weapon, but let's not count on anything. All right, so he is going to start with 8, 4, and let's reroll that. So he starts with iron spikes, a short bow and 5 arrows, very nice, and flint and steel. Good for him. So he's got his bow that he makes and his HP still is a minimum of. All right, last character. Let's see what we come up with. Let's roll the name first on this one. Actually, we can't do that, haha, because we got to roll up the ancestry first. All right, so this is going to be an elf. The elf's name is going to be Junnor. Junnor's background is going to be a sailor, an elven sailor. Let's roll for a deity, and if we get Romlet, again, we're going to reroll. Ord is neutral. Ord, the unbending, the wise, the secret keeper. He is the god of magic, knowledge, secrets, and equilibrium. I feel like that's fitting. So Junnor is neutral, and he worships Ord. All right, let's roll Junnor's stats. 8 in strength, slightly below average. 11 in dexterity. 12 in constitution, a little bit better. Ooh, 15 in intelligence. Very nice. Make sure I'm getting this right. +2. Wisdom, 11. Charisma, 6. Okay, he's a rough fella. That would be -2. Maybe the charisma stems from the fact that he wears a patch. He's missing an eye, just like this fellow right here. So Junnor has lost an eye. That's why he's got that low charisma. It's a little off-putting to people that aren't used to it. But when you get to know him, he's not too bad. All right, let's roll his personality. All right, he's pissed off. Is that too? Yeah, Wulf is annoyed. Junnor is, okay, let's say he's belligerent. He's all about causing a ruckus. So, yep, we will say belligerent. Belligerent characters are kind of fun to play because you always have to be reacting with the other NPCs to their ridiculousness. And I think it's pretty clear what he was fired for. It's going to be something related to his belligerence. As to how he started working for the post, maybe his crew kicked him out. We're not sure what his backstory is, but at some point he ended up working for the Iran Post. We've got a 62 and a 55. So 62, give, trust. Okay, so he trusted somebody that tricked him and framed him. And maybe let's just go over the top and say he had a delivery and the person opened it. It was a person of power that opened the, I don't know, the severed hand of somebody. Because of that, he got, thrown in the dungeons and then eventually carted off too. And he had no idea, right? He's just the FedEx guy. I mean, he doesn't know what he's delivering. But he got carted off to the secret pits and now he's there and he's not happy about it. So fired for delivering severed hand. Man, it must really suck to work for the Iran Post. I would not want to be a courier for this organization. And let's roll for his gear. So Junnor has, what is that? He has 1 piece of gear. This is where things being rules light becomes helpful because you're able to focus more on the story. You're able to just, roll on a few tables and then kind of fill in the blanks with your own imagination. So let's see, starting gear. Junnor has a 60-foot rope. Should we re-roll that? Because Wulf already has a 60-foot rope. Let's say Junnor has a grappling hook. Okay. It would be really useful to have that with the rope. And we know that he has 2 HP. I don't think anybody has armor. So everybody's going to be 10 plus their dexterity modifier. So let's do that real quick. So Tamra is AC 9. Wulf is AC 9. Ruhiel is AC 11. And Junnor is AC. Junnor has just his fists. You know what? He can swing around a grappling hook to attack with it. It's awkward though. Maybe he rolls with disadvantage, but he gets to just do the weapon damage that way. All right, so we've got our characters created. 4 level 0 characters, They're going to be going into this dungeon, the secret pits. We're going to be playing them one at a time, and whoever makes it out is going to, graduate to level 1, and they will become the main protagonist for our story, our adventure playing SoloDark in Mist Hollow. So in the next episode, I'm going to show you how I go about doing dungeon creation. We're going to ask a few questions and roll up a few NPCs using some tables to show how we kind of build out a dungeon as we play. All right, thanks for watching.